Hey there, Trekkers and Trekkies. So, got another awesome book for you today. So, how many of you, let's see if I can do this. If I get that little logo, how many of you does that get a little nostalgia hit for you of some 80s and 90s books? So this book today was published by a company. Famously, everybody knows them as DK, which actually stands for Dorling and Kindersley. It was the name of the two guys who formed the company back in the 70s. And I didn't know this, apparently, a lot. I mean, my mother actually has one of these old, like, homemaking cookbook type books that they put out back in the late 70s, early 80s. And that's what they first originally became popular for. And then in the 80s, they started doing these like encyclopedia deals. They became real popular for the cross sections things. I know I had one, it was for like boats, cross sections of boats and stuff like that. I've always been real big into Navy boats and stuff like that. And they had another one for castles because, you know, most kids love castles. I think I had one for dinosaurs as well. Again, that's a typical thing. And I actually know I still have it. It's on that shelf. You can probably barely see the white spine of it right there. That's actually the one that they did for the James Bond films. Because I'm secretly also quite a big James Bond fan. I do love me some 007 movies and books. But this is Star Trek: The Visual Dictionary. Now, this book, it's not so much an adult book. I mean, it's still very much directed for kids in the way that it's made. But I will say, if you just are looking for just something fun to have sitting around to look at from time to time, or if you're into props, this book is really for you. Because that's what they do spend a lot of time on. I mean, you can kind of see just from this insert here, you get some really great pictures of props. Like this here, it's from an episode of Deep Space Nine where they think that they have someone trying to assassinate Garrick, if I remember correctly. And one of the so-called assassins is disguised as a perfume salesman, and this is his case that he has his perfumes and stuff in. So it's just, there's a lot of cool stuff like that. Has a foreword by John Delancey, the actor who played Q, which is real cool. We can start off with a map of the universe. We get information about some various stuff. And then they jump into telling us about the various species in the Star Trek universe. First up, humans, which it's just kind of weird to choose Keiko and Zephram Cochrane and their cardboard standees as the representation for human culture. But, you know, okay. And then over here we've got Patrick Stewart in a leotard. That's a thing. Section on Vulcans. Here, got some really cool close-ups of the Vulcan tricorder and the bow and the harp that they have. More stuff on Vulcans. Just a lot of information about famous Vulcans like Spock, T'Pol, and Tuvok. Then there's a section on the Andorians. And a section on the Tellarites. Which I love this little bit about the Tellarite food here. which is fabulous looking. And then we've got our first real coverage of one of the ships. It's got the NX-01 Enterprise. Got some real nice pictures of the bridge, sick bay. I think this is the armory. Yeah. I was leaning at an angle. I couldn't see what it was for sure. And then we have a full 2-page spread on Captain Archer. And then the rest of the crew is relegated to 2 pages. Which is fine. It's just got one little paragraph on each of the main characters of the show. And they do that for each of the shows. You got original series here. So Kirk gets a 2-page spread, which we don't get a whole lot of very interesting props. We're able to get a good look at these chess pieces and the original chair. But that's about it for him. On the original series, we get to look at McCoy's medical stuff. We got the tricorder, the phaser, Uhura's earpiece. And then we jump to the Enterprise D, Next Generation. And it's the same kind of thing. But this, we actually get some really cool stuff. Some of the items that were in Picard's office. The dagger that from Darmok and Jalad. His Resican flute. The Kurlan Neskos, I can't remember how that's pronounced. It's something like that. And we even get a cover for a what is the name of that book? The Dixon Hill. Had a brain fart. And then just a single paragraph about him as Locutus. We get this 2-page spread on the cast. And again, when I made that comment a minute ago about the cardboard cutouts, I don't know if people realize that wasn't really much of a joke. These are the same pictures. I'm convinced they used the cardboard cutouts and just like photoshopped out the seam for this book, because most of these are the same pictures. This is the same picture that they had for a cardboard cutout of him back in the early 2000s. Anyways, page on Betazoids, page on Denobulans. We get a page on the Trill, which we get to see that weird little Trill piano from when Dax learned about the dude who had her symbiont, who played piano and murdered people. Elorians, which for some reason they decided to focus on Soren's probe and not Guinan's big badass gun. Artificial intelligences, which of course they talk about Data. They talk about the holograms. They talk about the exocomps. Again, if you want to get a good look at the exocomps, it's right there. We get very short paragraphs about Bolians, paragraphs about the Benzites, Tribbles, Horta. They're running through them a lot faster. And then we get a 2-page spread on the Ferengis, which this is again another one. If you ever wanted to get a really nice look at the desiccated remains deals, or this Ferengi phaser, which if I remember correctly, this was actually made using like a leg or an arm, something like that, off of a Gundam model. Might have to go look that back up. This is going to be stuff from Enterprise. So you get the Zindi, you got the Suliban, the Telosians, the Orions, which not a whole lot of prop stuff. There's just a lot of interesting stuff as far as storytelling wise, and you can get these single little paragraphs on different things involving them. Paragraph on the Mugatos, paragraph on the Nausicaans. We got this actually a decent little section on the M113 salt vampire creature. Got a paragraph on Uridians, which that's actually another picture here of oh man, I'm gonna go blank on his name. The actor who played Zephram Cochrane from the picture in the front. That's the guy from Babe. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Somebody's gonna put it in the comments. You're gonna be like, you forgot so and so's name, and I'm gonna be like, yes, I did. At that moment, I know it too. I know it. Anyways, Got a page on the Breen, which of course this now needs to be updated with all the stuff from the last season of Discovery. Page on the Q, again, that can be updated from everything from Picard. Got a couple of pages on the Klingon Empire. I think there's actually a few pages on the Klingons, if I'm not mistaken. I think, yeah, there's a whole other, we get a 4-page spread on the Klingons. So we get to look at some of their guns, which I'm sure that my buddy Mike, he'd be like, oh, that gun looks cheap and stupid. Yeah, Mike, thanks. More stuff about the Klingons and the ceremonies that they have and the ridiculous knee-high boots that they wear for their weddings. And then we get into the Romulans, which I think, even though I really liked the Romulan uniform, this is just an opinion section now, even though I really like the Romulan uniforms from Next Gen, I really did prefer this more coppery, bronzy mix of colors that they did in Star Trek Nemesis. It's one of the things that Nemesis got really good is the uniform, the Romulan uniforms. I love those. But got one of the little scorpion fighters like I built a while back. Got more stuff on the Romulans, got stuff on the Remans. Can look at the cloaking device. Let's see. Then we finally get to Deep Space Nine. The Defiant gets a couple of paragraphs and a picture of its bridge, but they don't really care much because they don't care about the Defiant. They don't care about Deep Space Nine. Cisco, he gets a 2-page spread just like all the captains. They show a tray of Saurian brandy because apparently that was Cisco's favorite thing. I don't remember that episode. And since Picard had a human sextant in his office, they talk about that Cisco had this Bajoran sextant. Sorry, I just realized that there was like a white mark on that page. That was weird. Anyways, baseball glove is the most important thing. Hey, Mike, there's your favorite phaser. And then the crew of Deep Space Nine, real brief paragraphs on all the people that happened during Deep Space Nine, and the little rations packets. That's funny. And then Julian's. What game was that called? Racket. It's just racquetball. I thought it had another name. Oh well. Got a 2-page spread on the Bajorans. Got some really cool pictures of the props. Always love the Bajoran weapons. Man, these were some cool stuff. This is what phasers should have looked like all throughout the damn show. These were freaking cool. The Bajoran phaser rifle should have been used constantly. Stuff on the Cardassians. I'm hoping to get me one of the rifles, build me one of the rifles sometime soon. Of course, I do have me a bottle of Kanar sitting over on my Kabar. We got another page on Cardassians and their treachery. It's just kind of the same type of stuff. Dominion. You know, it's funny. Just earlier on Facebook, somebody posted a picture of a backup generator that they bought that looks almost exactly like the Ketracel white container from the Dominion, and it was kind of funny. He was like, "Do I now have to pledge fealty to the Dominion?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of awesome." Here is the page on the Jem'Hadar. Got their weapons, got their various types of short blades that they used, and what the Ketracel white tube looked like. And then last and obviously least, because no one ever cares about Voyager, it's at the back of the book. So, page on Voyager, we get one. We get one picture of the bridge, one picture of engineering, one picture of the sick bay, and then 2 pictures of the mess hall. That's funny. Got a nice 2-page spread on Captain Janeway. I don't remember anything about a gramophone. Okay. Cool. Then we got the 2-page spread on Captain Janeway. Which most of the props in that show were repeated uses of stuff from Next Gen and Deep Space Nine. And then we've got the board, which of course does include more information about Picard and Locutus. Shocks that we see some of the different ships that they used. And now the thing about this is this book was published in like 2016, I think, 2015, something like that. I'll look in just a second. So it's interesting it doesn't have the later stuff from Voyager included in there about like the big diamond-shaped mothership, Borg ship that they had. Page on the Compa, page on the Talaxians. They're keeping it brief because they're at the end of the book. The Kazon, which this ship, I didn't realize till recently just how big this Kazon ship was. Kind of blew my mind. I actually was looking at a size comparison thing, and the Kazon ships, this particular one, it was like 10 times bigger than Voyager. It was massive. They screwed up with the Vidia, or with the Kazon. They put a lot of stuff in place and then didn't use it properly. Got a page on the Hirogen and a page on Species 8472. And that's the end of the book. Which, okay, 2013. Sorry, I was thinking it was closer to the 50th anniversary. It was a couple of years early. But still, why they left out all that information from the latter part of Voyager is a little bit strange to me. So, yeah, that is the Star Trek Visual Dictionary from 2013. This was compiled by Paul Ruditis. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. With the foreword by John Delancey. Like I said, this is definitely, if you've got a kid who's into Star Trek, they would absolutely love just having this to pour over the pictures, and it'll trigger the imagination and get them going and want to have fun with it. But for an adult, it's just kind of a cool thing to have. This is like a coffee table book type of thing, you know, the thing you just have sitting there that if there's nothing on TV, you can just pick it up and pop open to a page. Or if you're in the middle of watching a show and you just, I don't remember that about such and such. Does it say anything in here? Instead of going to the Memory Alpha website to look it up. But that is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get a chance to check this book out yourself. I know we did actually look at every single page, but I went through it rapid as hell. So, I will see you next time. Take care of yourself and go make something. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon or go over to Zazzle for prints of my artwork, t-shirts, and other cool stuff. If you're still here, why? Do you want to jam out?